Okay, just change this that way. I just stick that down there. Okay. Oh, sorry. Where's that gone? Just trying to stick. All right, we'll just leave it in the corner. That's fine. Okay. So thank you very much for joining me today. So my name's Yasmin, and like I said, I'm an Environmenstrual ambassador for the Women's Environmental Network. So we're here today to learn all about plastic-free periods. Okay, so environmental ambassador. So as part of WEN and City to Sea ambassador network that aims to make healthy, eco-friendly menstrual products the norm through education and action. So it's a partnership between City to Sea and Women's Environmental Network. Okay, so who are WEN and who are City to Sea? So WEN works to achieve environmental, social and gender justice through campaigning, grassroots projects and movement buildings. WEN works directly with women in the UK, providing information, training and workshops on projects such as local food growing, health and climate change, and their vision is for an environmentally sustainable world in which we can achieve gender and racial equality. City to Sea is a non-profit organisation campaigning to stop plastic pollution from city to sea. So their work focuses on providing practical, solution-focused initiatives and advocating reduce, reuse and single use. And their vision is for the world's waterways and coastlines to be strewn with sticks and sand and seaweed and not plastic, especially not plastic menstrual products. So what's the Environmenstrual about? Okay, so first of all, it's about raising awareness that conventional single-use period products contain plastic and other harmful chemicals. Secondly, it's encouraging women, girls and people who menstruate to try reusable menstrual products or to use plastic-free disposable options. Thirdly, mainstreaming the conversation, mainstreaming about the conversation about periods and breaking the taboo down. Educating people on how flushing menstrual products can cause sewage blockages, pollute rivers, lakes, seas and beaches. And fifth, calling on mainstream period product manufacturers to remove the plastics and chemicals from their products. Okay, so what I'll do is we've got a quick quiz just to test everybody's knowledge. You're all muted, so you can't shout out. So I'm just going to give you a couple. I'll read the question and then I'll give you a couple of seconds, and you can just put your answer down, and then I'm just going to read out the answer just to make it as brief as possible. Okay, so quiz question number 1. So how many plastic bags worth of plastic are in the standard pack of a mainstream disposable pad? So I'll give you a couple of moments to think about that, and then I'm just going to shout out the answer. The amount of plastic in a disposable pad, the answer is C. So it takes 5 plastic carrier bags worth of plastic in just one disposable pad, which is pretty insane. So well done if you got the answer C. Okay, number 2. So how long does it take for disposable menstrual products to degrade into the environment? Okay, so the answer for that one again is C. So between 500 and 800 years, which is absolutely, again, insane. And okay, number 3. So how many disposable menstrual products are flushing down Britain loos every year? Let's have a little guess. And so the answer is C, 4.3 billion. So that is absolutely insane. So lots of people are still thinking that a lot of menstrual products, such as tampons, even pads, are flushable down the toilets. Some people may do that because the way in which the manufacturing is done on the back of packages. Sometimes it's in the very small print that people don't read. A lot of people aren't educated about it from a young age. So yeah, some people just have no idea. Like a lot of my friends didn't even know that you can't put a tampon down the toilet if there isn't a bin optionally in a bathroom. So that's pretty crazy. Yeah, so the last question on the quiz: how many menstrual products does an average person use over their lifetime in the UK? I'll let you have a guess. Okay, yeah, so the answer is C. So well done if you got that right, 11,000. So yes, a lot. Okay, so there are around 80 million people of menstruating age in the UK alone. So imagine that around the world. So that's a lot. Okay, so we're going to go on to discuss period activism. So there's lots being done at the moment. I can imagine you've seen in the media, or even following people like Sustainable Merton or the Women's Environmental Network, or if you're already following City to Sea, or other activists, period activists out there, period poverty. There's lots of people trying to create awareness around the dangers in plastic periods and also period poverty. So these are a couple of people that we've picked out who are quite live in the media at the moment and are doing really well with their campaigning. And there's a lady called Kiran Gandhi, who is a runner and runs when she menstruates. She doesn't use any period products. She just runs naturally, which is fighting the stigma around periods. The lady in the yellow top, Amika George, is an A-level student campaigning to end period poverty. So she's been protesting in schools for people that are on school meals to be entitled to plastic-free or just period products in general, which is fantastic. You've also got people like City to Sea who are funding this campaign, and the ambassadors. So I think it was in January this year, they pushed the legislations for the government to put a scheme in place where all schools and colleges in the UK are now able to apply for free sanitary wear for people that are menstruating at schools and colleges. That's absolutely fantastic. So that really tackles the period poverty. Obviously, you've still got a lot of students and people that might not be going into school because they can't afford sanitary towels and things at home, so it'll prevent them from learning. So now that they can access a free products, that's fantastic. I think City to Sea are also looking to try and change that into schools providing plastic-free period items, but obviously it's small steps. So that is their next protocol. And then you've got people like Greenhouse PR working on plastic-free period campaigns. So there's a lot going on at the media at the moment. When it comes to menstruation and periods and things, we have to also think about gender. So we don't just say women, we try and say people, women, and people that menstruate as well. So we've got another activist, Kenny Ethan Jones, who's allowed Always to try and change their packaging so it's not just women but people that menstruate to create awareness around that and transgender. There's a good video on YouTube as well, Tony the tampon, which teaches children that men can also menstruate. So it's really good to be aware of, it's not just women, it's people and transgender that are menstruating. Okay, so Kieran Gandian's a London Marathon runner. So
I headed downtown.
Video. I'll just put it on large, and we're just going to watch the 5 minutes start of it.
I'm Adjua Boa, a model, founder of Girls Talk, and an advocate for female empowerment. It feels really amazing and empowering.
I do it for myself, and people respect that. They admire that.
Riding motorcycles is basically a symbol that we're not going to be told what to do anymore, and we're going to just do whatever we want.
I want to use my personal experience of depression and addiction to get girls around the world talking about mental health, body image, and sexuality.
We are here, and we are black, and we are women, and godly, and ain't fucking sorry, for we have always been slaying, and slaying, and slaying, and did I mention slaying?
2 years ago, I was struggling with depression and addiction. Following 3 months in rehab, I made a suicide attempt. After sadly being sectioned at a psychiatric hospital, I soon recovered, with the help of several strong women in my life. I realized I was glad to still be here, and Girls Talk was born. I headed downtown to speak to Kieran Gandhi, an outspoken activist, MIA's drummer, MBA grad, and musician in her own right, about running the London Marathon while menstruating. What did it symbolize for you, like running the marathon on the first day of your period?
I had gotten to the marathon start line, and like any of us who have been caught unprepared on a cycle, I just started going through my options. Okay, so I'm like, okay, what if I use a pad? Oh, hell no, I'm gonna chafe at 26 miles, no chance. Then
really uncomfortable.
Really uncomfortable,
yeah.
Right. No man I know would take a bunch of cotton, stick it between his balls, and run 26 miles. Please, no man I know would. Yeah. And then I thought, what about if I use a tampon? No, well, am I gonna hold one extra tampon to run the whole thing?
And then stop.
And then stop and change it. There's no privacy on a marathon course either. I actually think it'd be more scarring to like squat in the middle of the side and start changing out my tampon. No way.
Yeah.
But the more I ran, the more I thought, while I had the choice that day to reject my own stigma, to reject my own oppression, millions of women and girls around the world do not. And that's when I realized how profound it is that we can't talk about our own bodies and our own menstruation and our own sexuality and our own masturbation or any of these things. It's awful.
It's easier for me to lie in bed and fear that I've bled on someone's bed. Or that I'm walking through the airport and I've accidentally bled through my trousers.
Right. I think that we teach young women to internalize that shame and hold on to it. Women are taught from a young age that their main value is derived from their looks. Pretty much their only value is derived from their looks. And yes, you can go to college or whatever, but all the subliminal messaging, unfortunately, is still you better look good. So we say, breasts, yes, we love. Makeup on the face, yes, we love that. Hair styled and done beautifully, we love that. Big booty, we love that. Beautiful clothes, heels, yes, we want all that. But menstruation, no, please, don't ever tell us that that's happening. Because that's not for the sexual consumption of men. It's not enjoyable. Yeah. It's not a turn on. It's not biologically made to turn men on, right? In the global conversation about women's issues, menstrual stigma ends up being low on the priority list because it's not life or death. But the interesting thing is that it's actually one of the things that we can solve, you and me and anybody really in our circles. We can solve this within our lifetime.
Okay. So that's pretty cool. I mean, that's amazing for any woman that's actually running a marathon whilst menstruating. I don't think I could do that. Okay, so on to the next one. So the environment. So women and people who menstruate use more than 11,000 disposable menstrual products in their lifetime. Disposal of single-use menstrual products, tampons, pads and applicators generate 200,000 tonnes of waste per year, which is also absolutely incredible. So what's in a pad? So plastic seems to be a predominant plastic material used in mainstream menstrual products. Up to 6% of a tampon alone is plastic, and up to 90% of the menstrual pad is plastic. So like we mentioned, 5 carrier bags going into just one single pad itself. So, you know, think how many plastic carrier bags are being used up just in one period, in one menstruation. So waste, 41% of women in the UK have admitted to flushing period products down the loo. So again, some women just aren't aware, and this is down to the manufacturers' faults for not putting it in larger writing really on the packets to make people aware, or to educate people on the damage it's doing to our environment. It's not out there at the moment. 4.8 pieces of menstrual waste are found per 100 metre of beach cleaned. So there's a lot of applicators at the moment which are being found in beaches. Even people dispose of the applicator, not just the tampon, down the loos, which I mean, that's just incredible. You know, the amount of damage and the amount of years that it's taken to disappear. Okay, so City to Sea have done a video to It's Time to Rethink Periods. So we're just going to watch this one next. Tune in.
Hi, I'm Chloe, and today I'm taking a closer look at disposable menstrual products, things like tampons, applicators and pads. I'll be talking about how we dispose of them properly, as well as finding out what happens when we don't.
In the UK, around 700,000 panty liners, 2.5 million tampons and 1.4 million pads are flushed down the toilet every day. This is crazy, as most menstrual products carry a Do Not Flush logo on the pack, although it's very small. The average menstrual pad contains about the same amount of plastic as 4 carrier bags. And most tampons contain plastic in them too. So it's not just our drains and sewers that are choking, but our rivers and seas. And here's why. When we flush our toilets, waste passes out into pipes which lead to the sewers. If the pipes get clogged from flushing things like wipes, menstrual products, or even from washing cooking oils and fats down the sink, the pipes can get blocked. When this happens, the home and bathroom can flood with toilet waste, which is really gross. And homeowners have to pay expensive call-out fees to get professionals to come and unblock the drains. Ugh. Another major downside of blocked sewers is that they can overflow into our rivers and seas. 7% of plastic found on beaches is stuff we flush down the loo. So that's things like makeup wipes, cotton buds, and plastic tampon applicators and pads. Plastic pollution is the next biggest threat to our oceans after climate change, so it's really important we put this stuff in the bin and not down the loo. But what about the stuff that does make it to the treatment plants? What happens to it there? Let's find out.
So this is where it ends up. Everything gets screened off inside these machines here, and then flows on out ready for the next part. Oh, there's a massive clump of pads, a tampon. Oh, there's another one. There's a huge one! And then this waste here goes to landfill, or is incinerated, which just means more pollution. So So there you have it, the ugly truth about what happens when we flush. When using disposable menstrual products, the message is simple. Put them in the bin. And remember, only pee, paper and poo goes down the loo. Watch more of our videos to find out about the environmental impact of our periods and to get the lowdown on all of the different products available to us.
Okay, so that's a good video from City to Sea. Yep. Okay, next up. Okay, so talking about the plastic, which is in menstrual products. So plastic waste kills up to 1 million seabirds and 100,000 sea mammals, marine turtles, and countless fish each year. So plastic remains in our ecosystems for years, harming thousands of sea creatures every day. Oh. Okay, so down to health. So chlorine and dioxin can still be found in menstrual pads and tampons. Synthetic fragrances can be made up of a cocktail of 3,000 chemicals and contain carcinogens, allergens, irritants, and EDCs. Pesticides, and can also cause toxic shock syndrome. So what's the alternative? So plastic-free and organic disposable options. So switching to organic products for just 2 periods could save enough water for 1 person for 900 days. So what we have on the market today. So now we know about the health aspects and the amount of plastics found in normal menstrual products. We can look at the alternatives, which are plastic free, such as menstrual cups, reusable pads, which are washable and you can keep reusing, and period undies, which are also reusable and washable. So I'm going to go through a couple of the examples and talk about those in the discussion next, and then we can have a little bit of a chat and discussion. So other menstrual products on the market which are more sustainable are something like a reusable tampon applicator, which you can just reuse and wash and keep that, and that'll last for over 20 years. So it's much better than buying into tampons with an applicator, which are usually made out of plastic and are thrown away and are a single-use product. So if you want to know a bit more about sustainable periods and what are the campaigns and what else is going on, please do follow people like Environmenstrual, City to Sea, When UK, City to Sea, Instagram accounts, Twitter and Facebook to keep up to date as to see what campaigns are running. Okay, so I'm going to stop the presentation.